Okay.
I think we're live.
Hi.
Hi, everyone.
Hello. How's everybody doing? So we are in person.
In person today. Imagine that.
In person in Los Angeles from the Glendale Hills.
Yeah. We're broadcasting live from the bougie Glendale Hills.
Touche. Yes. So what's our topic for the evening, Stephanie?
Okay, so we were going to talk about dating as witches, right? And I kind of came in with a little bit extra kind of thing because, you know, when we're dating out there, especially in this new age, people are always talking about how, we already have somebody saying hello. So, you know, we are always saying, or I get people always saying things like, you know, I'm looking for my divine masculine or my divine feminine counterpart, right? And the thing that is lost in translation there is that we as witches have to work on our divine masculine and our divine feminine inside ourselves, right? We're currently and constantly working on that.
Right. Well, I mean, and mine is a problem. Like I have an issue with the feminine part. I'm very masculine in my energy because I've had to be, right. Like, so, yeah. Right. So this is a problem like that I face is that I'm very, I do things. I do it. Like if I talk about it, I get it done. Like I get it done. I don't lollygag, right? Like I don't talk about things and don't do them. Very masculine energy because I've had to be supporting myself and take care of myself my whole life. So,
right.
Much more than the average person, let's say. So,
hi. Hello, Megan. Hi. Learning to live. Hi.
So, when I date men, I date, they seem to have a problem with my energy because it's so masculine. Aggressive. I mean, it's not aggressive like towards them, but it's just aggressive towards goals, towards achievements, towards doing things, getting things done. Right. And it I think sometimes it makes them feel like they're not needed, maybe, or like I can do everything myself, so I don't need them, which is true. No offense, but like it is true. Like I can, but I don't want to necessarily. Like that's the thing, you know. Like I don't want to have to do everything myself. Just because I can doesn't. It's not an offense, but people get offended by it. I've noticed many ex-boyfriends have been like offended by the fact that I just do stuff. Like
right, you know, I don't know and I think that has everything to do with the masculine that our society has set up, right? Like. It's not about whether they're masculine enough, right? It's more like they're striving to be something that has been set up that is actually something that's set up for disaster, really, and it's set up for failure because the way that our society treats a man is very extractive,
right?
And about production. And see, we understand as witches and as people who are in touch with our divine feminine also that the divine feminine is the creator. Right. She's the portal. Like let's do the definition of that, right? Like what's the definition of divine masculine and divine feminine? Right. Because it's not, oh, this is my counterpart. That's not
There's no counterpart. Purpose. There's no counterpart. You have to be your own counterpart. That's like it has to be 50-50. It's like yin and yang. It's been around forever. Yeah. The concept has in the pop culture collective, but they don't understand. The understanding is not there.
Right. So so divine feminine. When we talk about divine feminine, we're talking about the divine primordial,
like not the pretty stuff.
No, void goddess creator. The portal that everything has come through. Right. The thing that was before there was even sound in the universe, right? Like her,
right? Like Mother Nature, like her. Everything that's destructive is referred to in female terms. Hurricanes, like sometimes they give them male names, but they are like weather is her, Mother Nature. Like the ocean is referred to as feminine or female because to create we have to destroy.
Right, and we by nature create and destroy. Often, and even just a woman coming into her womanhood, right, and starting to shed her uterine wall every month. That is destruction and creation.
Correct. Yeah. So we do it every month for most of our life.
And that's why the serpent is also a symbol of feminine embodiment, because snakes shed their skin. And they're also cold-blooded. And that doesn't mean we're cold-blooded. It means we're adaptable. It means that we flow, that we're changeable, and that we're consistently flowing. And so
it's not rigid. It's not as rigid as the masculine.
It's not structured.
Yeah. It's not. So like I think the incorrect or erroneous like perception is that feminine is supposed to be nurturing, caring, and like that's it, you know, and then all of the other stuff is for the masculine side. But it has to be a balance of both, because you can tell when someone's off kilter, right? When you have a man that's like, when you have a female that's too like myself, that's too masculine, like with her energy.
Let's talk about that, because what is the masculine energy?
Right, that's the one that's like more of a like in this material world doer. Like it's like they're more of like getting things done and facilitating things, and whereas like in this culture, especially our culture, where it is seen that feminine is more like the nurturing, and that is, we are both of those things, but we've separated it so down the middle where it's like women do this and guys do that. When both of us should be doing all of it. Like both men and women should be doing have the ability to do all of those things. It should not be, because inside of us we're both like our soul is not male or female. It just is. Like it just is. I died. I like no. Like I did. I like wasn't. I was just me, and there was no identity like to that of a female or male. Like it, like it was just me. Like it was just my my consciousness. So we've constructed this like terms, but it is true because we have to be both. But then society's come along, and the church came along and was like, this is this and that.
Well, even more than that. I mean, we'll go into it. I mean, the government had a lot to do with it too. I mean, look at like the nuclear family, for instance. Okay, and that was invented around the Depression era into the 1940s, 1950s, 1960s for a military-industrial complex. And it also isolated people from their extended families. And so they gave people trauma by creating these rigid roles to play in society that creates even more trauma generationally.
Oh my God. Yeah, like I have an example of this. Like it's silly, but it's one of my ex-boyfriends, not the last one, but the one before that. He had a son, and his son, we went to a park one day, like to a kids play place, whatever. And in the gift store, we said we'd get him something, right? And he wanted a pink thing. And his dad, my ex-boyfriend, was like, no, you can't have that pink thing. And I was like, why can't you have the pink thing? You know, because my little girl, Lucy, she wanted the red thing. And I was like, that's fine. You know, like, I don't care. But he would not let his kid have this pink toy. And he made him feel really bad about it. And like, I was like, dude, it's a freaking color. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, who cares? Like, it's, and by the way, for record, pink used to be a masculine color.
Very.
Like, when it was masculine, like, pink was a masculine color back in the Victoria, like, back in like the 1700s, it's like 17 to 1800s. Yeah, and now then it changed.
And
but
blue
like,
was a girl color.
Yes, blue was a girl. It was reversed. So like we have these shifts in what's acceptable for one sex and the other throughout time, over and over again. But it's all made up. Like it's just somebody said it, so therefore it is. Like it's
right. It's almost, you can almost look at it as trends. And so like back to this trend actually of people saying, I want my divine masculine or my divine feminine counterpart. We need to look inside ourselves.
Right.
And we need to say, okay, so this is the marriage of me understanding that I need to integrate all these parts of me and love them. And sometimes we don't have the roadmap for that, right? And that's why there's all kinds of people now who teach it, but there's a lot of misinformation too. Right. So we're trying from our educational backgrounds to educate about this.
Yeah, and so we do have educational background.
We're very informative. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
And so, you know, the thing is that there's that right? So then when two people come together, right, who have already embodied this marriage of themselves, right, and understanding
the alchemical marriage.
Yes, the alchemical marriage that we talk about often in alchemy and in witchcraft.
And people think that's wrong. They think that so many people think, oh, I'm gonna get a alchemical marriage to this person. No, it's to yourself. Like, what are you talking about? they don't read.
I joke, but it's true, and this is something that I've said before on here. I am God, and so are you.
Right.
But I also say I'm married to, and what that means is I'm married to myself. Oops, we glitched a little.
I don't know what just happened. You guys, if we glitched, sorry about that.
I hope everybody still sees us.
Yeah.
But that's a misconception because people hear the term witch and they think that has nothing to do with astrology. It's just not true because we're collective. We all have different practices, different belief systems, different things we follow, but it all comes back to the source energy. And energy is everything.
Right.
And so I say I'm married to that energy because if I'm not, then I can't serve source energy. I can't serve others.
Right.
I can't do anything on my path because that is the thing that feeds my soul. And that's the thing that feeds your soul.
Right. So wait, I have a question. Mm-hmm. So I was just thinking right now, about the yin and yang, right? So the darker side would actually be the feminine side.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. And so the light side would be the masculine side.
Yes, ma'am.
And we have changed that. Like pop culture has changed that, and history has changed it. And it has always been that the woman was the darker one. Just look back into the Garden of Eden, with Lilith and Eve. It was all the women that did the bad thing. So we've always been the darker energy, but somehow now we're expected to be the lighter energy.
But isn't that funny? Also, too, the serpent is being used in the symbology, and we're the serpent, right?
Yeah.
So what did Megan say? She said you have to be true to yourself before you can be true with anyone else. That is true. So yes, Megan. Exactly. And Megan was on last week. If you want to see that episode, she was really great. She's in our coven.
Yeah, thanks.
And in future episodes, we're going to have more people from our coven come on and guest with us because they have a plethora of knowledge. I mean, we're just all geeks around here sharing knowledge.
Total nerds, yeah. It's great. Yes, but we actually know what we're talking about. So that's the difference. There's a lot of misinformation out there. A lot on TikTok, for God's sake. You can find people that say crazy stuff. And some of the stuff that we say might sound crazy, but all you have to do is some very rudimentary research and find out that that's the case. I remember when I was learning a lot of this stuff, I was shocked because I was like, what? That's not what I thought. My whole life I've been told something different. And it's because who's teaching it to you? That's what you have to take into consideration. Because again, it's not that we're all good and bad together. It's all together. And so we're all light and dark together. There's no one that's just all light.
But if we accept those dark parts, shadow work, right?
Yep.
Then we're able to marry again our masculine and feminine energies together to understand that. And I'm not saying that I'm done with that because it is a lifetime of work upon a lifetime upon a lifetime. And we understand, especially as an Akashic reader, I've seen this. We have so many lifetimes in different gendered bodies to help that process. But it is a fact of self-actualization in spirituality, understanding the whole thing, the whole soul, the whole energy.
Right. Yeah. When you get with someone, so you don't have to be. No one's ever 100% balanced. Let's just put that out there. We're never going to be 100% balanced.
Nobody's perfect.
So, the fact that I'm operating more in the masculine doesn't mean that I don't have the feminine too. It's just not as dominant, right? But it's still there. So when I date, and there's someone I'm dating that's a guy, because it's guys, right? And they are not full in their own masculinity,
right?
Which is really common. It's surprising because it's such a male-driven society, right?
But you mean true masculinity, right?
Right.
And let's talk about true masculine energy here for a second, because when you see true masculine energy, he's not leading the feminine, okay?
No.
He's actually protecting and holding space for her. Because she's the creator.
Right.
And he's the one who protects her. Because that's why they were given the body that they were given, right? That's stronger than ours chemically.
It's the most important job you could ever have. Literally. Because without that job as a protector, we wouldn't be here.
Exactly. We actually need our protectors. Yeah. We need our holders, especially people like ourselves, healers, who we go out on the world and we have the most vulnerable job of feeling and healing others.
Right.
And that is an exhausting very noble cause and path, but it's exhausting.
And not everyone takes
requires
it.
a lot.
Not everybody takes it and they don't have to.
You don't
That's
have
also,
to.
yeah, you don't have to. But for those of us that do, it's like, it's not fun. And it's not like, and we're not hating on guys at all.
No.
In fact, it's the opposite. Like
we love
guys
men.
a lot. And like, and we need them. Like, but what we, what's needed is this more of a balance in the healthy way. Because society now has this idea that like a man is like, this kind of machismo,
hardworking, doesn't have the emotions,
no emotion,
overproductive, cool, calm, like
jacked,
doesn't give
like,
a
I don't know,
care.
like right.
Yeah.
It's like it's not that. It's about being like being able to process emotions.
And then Learning to Live asked us, and I agree with this actually, Megan, this is very true. Would the feminine be the darker aspect because of the darkness in the fertile void? Yes, that is correct. Yes,
it is, and that's the opposite of what we think based on what we're told and taught like our whole lives
in our modern society.
But back in the day, before it was on point, because it was
this was long, but back in the day we're talking like ancient Sumerian
long
like era. We're talking like when people actually worshipped Isis.
Yeah, like back then.
Ashtaroth and Baal. Look at that. Look at the male female counterparts with the gods and goddesses, and you can always see that he's protecting her.
Right, and like they're complementary, but they're not dependent on each other. Like and that's the goal with the dating.
It's like an orbit. Like here it is, and they're orbiting each other. I wish I had a lighter one. Would you grab me a lighter one?
Like this one.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. So this is the female and this is the male.
Right.
And like in the best way, they would be orbiting each other.
And balancing out that gravity.
And balancing that gravity.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's protecting and she's creating.
Right. But like so many times there's like a lot of guys that are very threatened, I guess, by this idea like that women can do like that we're the darker ones, like that's not okay. Like with my last relationship, it was like that, it's like I'm doing stuff and I shouldn't be doing it. I should be waiting for their lead. Do you know what I mean? Like for them to take the lead, like you said. It's not about leading.
No, it's not about leading.
Or like the inability to learn from a woman because it offends you. I don't understand.
Because if we're both vulnerable, then we're both learning from each other.
Right.
But the vulnerability takes the breaking down of these modern day ideals that have been put in our heads, and it's still sold to us. It's sold to us through the media.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, look at the models that we have. I mean, look at the ads that we have. Right. Sex sells, of course.
Of course. Like if you just take a marketing class.
You wouldn't see a lot of a bigger, like female divine feminine, right? And like a smaller masculine, except I did see an ad recently that I want to talk about. And it was Rihanna, and she was actually with A$AP Rocky, her baby daddy and partner. And he was holding their child, and she's in front of him with her arm behind her, leading them both.
Oh, that's interesting.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
And she's actually larger in the picture than him.
Oh, that's great.
And it was such a beautiful picture, and I got chills just talking about it.
I was like, really? What? That's a great symbology because
it was, and you don't normally see that, and so it caught a lot of slack because people,
of course it did,
right? Because the alpha male, kind of thing is like, how dare you let a, but it's not like that. She's the feeler. She's feeling. She's creating. She's intuitive.
Right.
She's feeling the world before they even are stepping on it. And that's what the feminine does.
Right. And then also, like, just noted, it's never even, like, it's never always that. It's like up and down. Like, there's always a part, if you're in a relationship, there's always one that's going to be doing a little better and the one that's a little lower, and it switches over time. So, always, like, it's, there can be brief moments where both of you are, like, on top. And and
that's wonderful,
that's great. That's not sustainable.
Norm.
It's not sustainable. It's not the norm. Even the most successful people in the world, like, have their moments of, like, dipping down below their level of success that they're used to. And when that happens, which is like the case again in the last relationship I had, where it's like I started to do a little better than he did, And that was absolutely unacceptable for him. Like, and I just didn't get it. I was like, why is he so upset?
Because those are old structured thinking, old programs.
Because in my opinion, it's like my success is your success, and vice versa if we're really a partnership, right?
Right. And in old terms, as women, we were taught if your man's productive and he's got this going on or that going on, it's your success together, right?
Right. Only one-sided though.
But only one-sided.
Yeah.
And see, that's where the mistake is happening.
Yeah.
And then Learning to Live just said like twin sons. Yes, like twin sons for sure. And that's another thing. Let's talk about that also is, guys, you're not ever going to find a twin flame.
No,
and if you do, run the other way.
Right, it's a bullshit. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. I don't care. I don't care who gets mad. It is a bullshit excuse to stay in a toxic relationship. That is what it is. Like, these people that are out there like talking about this shit.
My twin flame.
The runner, chaser, bullshit. No. That's called games. It's called go back to high school, okay? Fucking graduate, because it's nonsense. Like, you're either in a partnership or you're not. Like, I'm not out. I'm 44, almost 45. I'm not down to be chasing around some guy. No. Like, either you want me or you don't. Like, no. Like, bye-bye. Like, if that's the case.
And you know what? I'm going to make a point here, too, as a woman who tries to give, because men are not mind readers. Okay.
No one is.
No one is. And so as a woman who is empowered in my feminine, okay, I know that I'm not a damsel.
Right.
I can tell my counterpart, my person, whoever my partner is, I can tell them, hey, I want this, this, and this. And in a good relationship, that will be listened to and honored as best it can be. Accommodated as best it can be, and vice versa. There's no gender to wants, desires, and needs.
Yeah.
We don't need to fawn and hope that somebody pays attention to it, because what that's going to do is create sadness.
The pick me.
The pick me. Yes, that is sad, pathetic energy that we don't ever want.
You can only save yourself, like, ever, you know, like, aside of being like,
yes. Oh, Megan. Yes, I agree with this. So she said, you want to post this one because she and I watched the same show, and I love this point. She said, I listened to a show the other day that was talking about how healthy relationships are not always 50-50. When one partner is at 20, the other supports and steps forward.
Right.
Correct. And the woman was saying, she goes, my husband and I are rarely 50-50, but that's when it's the best. But that's not the norm. And she's like, I'm having things going on with my elderly parents right now. So I have to tell him some days I'm at 20%, babe. And he can tell me, hey, I've got the 80%. Or he'll tell me I've had the worst week at work. I'm at 10.
Right.
And she can say, that's okay. I've got the other 90 today, or however long it needs. And that is the reciprocation.
Right.
That is the healthiest energetics for the masculine and feminine energetics in relationships.
Because when someone has your back, like it allows for so much more healing, like, and
room to grow.
Yes. When you're constantly fearful, like, so again, like in my last relationship, I did not have this. Like, if I said anything that I needed, it was a nagging or whatever.
Right.
And like, that's not like nagging. Here, I'm gonna say this to you. I don't care who gets mad. I'm in a mood today. Okay. Like, here's the thing, and this goes for guys and girls. Both of us, okay? If someone is telling you to do something, like if you need to do something in a relationship, like whatever it is, I'm going to use a bad example, say dishes, right? Like, I cook, so you do the dishes. Okay? That's the agreement we came to. And then you don't do the dishes ever. And I always have to do it. And I say, can you just do the dishes? And then you say, I'll do it, and you don't do it. And then the next time I ask you, again, because you didn't do it, right? Like, and I'm like, hey, are you going to do those dishes? That's not nagging. That's not nagging. That's not nagging. That's called, you didn't do what you said you're going to do. Freaking do it. Like, that's it. Like, we shouldn't have to, nobody, guy or girl, should not have to parent their partner. Like, ever. It should be like, if you lived on your own, you'd be doing it, right? Exactly. You absolutely would. You'd have to, because otherwise you couldn't eat.
But that's also something that's honoring our partner, right? Is understanding that if we live like they're not there in the respect of our responsibilities, right? And show up as a whole person, right? And responsible for ourselves, everybody is going to be much happier and able to reciprocate and compensate for each other's not exactly shortcomings, but moments of hardship.
Right.
And the other thing that I want to talk about too is you hear a lot of people say, oh, you have to heal on your own before you get in a relationship. Let me tell
yeah.
you something. That is a falsehood
Yep.
that is harming a lot of
Yep.
people who, like ourselves, were abandoned as children.
Right. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I have abandonment trauma
Me too.
from childhood.
Yep.
And some adulthood stuff.
Oh yeah. A life. Okay. Yes.
Yeah. And you know, the actual healthiest thing to do is actually finding somebody else who understands and has this similar trauma, no trauma bonding. Okay.
Because trauma bonding is not. Oh, let's
It's
define
not
that.
okay.
No, trauma bonding
Yeah.
is the definition of it is so misconstrued. Trauma bonding is not when you meet somebody that has a trauma like yours and you bond over that trauma. It is not. Trauma bonding is when someone abuses you on purpose and then becomes your because of your trauma, and then also offers himself up as your savior from their own abuse. And now you become addicted to the cycle of abuse saving from this person. That's what that is.
I.e. codependency.
Right. Yeah. It is not that you guys are just like similar, have similar backgrounds, and therefore you trauma bonded over your similar shared trauma.
Right.
Like that's that thing is actually healthy. Like that part, like doing that, and as long as the other person is.
It's called co-regulation.
Right. Yeah.
And co-regulation actually is very healthy because it helps people. Because how can you heal if you're constantly afraid that people are going to abandon you?
Yeah.
It's not possible. You can go to as many doctors as you want and get as many pills as you want to calm your nerves. You can go and cry it out in whatever, you know, yoga or somatics class or healing symposium you want. Church, yeah, wherever you go for this, okay, you can do that. But if you don't have an ability to have a tribe or co-regulate, you're not going to heal that abandonment wound.
Right. And being alone, suffering through like a bad breakup or like, you know, from whatever is
It's
not
healthy.
It's not. And that's actually, I'm so glad that you said that because that is new research that's come out, you know, like about this, because for the longest time, even professionals will tell you, you have to stay alone. You have to like, you know, heal yourself. No, because how the hell do you know if you're even healing if you're by yourself?
You don't
like
know.
How do you know? Like how do you know if like your maybe like proclivities or like, you know, tendencies to do certain things or react a certain way, you don't have the opportunity to have those, you know, you don't have the opportunity to experience it if you're by yourself. So you don't know if you're even able to change, right?
Right.
So
right. And also we are herd animals, whether we like it or
social,
not.
Yeah.
We are herd animals.
Yep.
And if you block yourself off from others because of the pain and trauma that you've endured, it's not going to help you. It's going to hinder you so much more. And our hearts are meant to be connected to each other.
Right.
And they're meant to be in a tribe situation.
Right. Yeah.
And a herd situation.
That's why things are so bad, is because everyone's so for themselves these days. Like nobody has a sense of community anymore at all. And like, you know, everybody's out for them and themselves. And like, you know, we don't think of the collective, like the people just every day, like the mailman, the trash people, like whatever, everybody that is involved in our life. Like take all that away, you're screwed.
I make a point to say hello to people. And I think it's very important. And I know it's that typical like older woman thing. We say hello to everyone. Yeah. But it's because we know the heartache.
You don't know, like as a teacher, okay, so I make a rule, like my students, I always say nice things to my students because I don't know what they go home to. I don't know what their situation is. I could be what they heard from me could be the only nice thing that they've heard in a really long time. Yeah. The only words of encouragement that they've heard in a really long time. Yeah. Like they could be having a bad day. You don't know what people are going through, and you should never presume to, you know, like that you do, because you're not a mind reader. Like, so.
Oh, good point. Like, okay, for instance, guys, for our tuners in our usuals, right? Our people who come on all the time, which I love you guys, and
yes.
But you know that I've been through like several gauntlets in the last month, and I have received like a broken heart.
Oh yeah.
And like it has been the women in my community, the women in my coven, the women that have shown up that have made all the difference in my life, and not just in my life, but saving my life. Yeah. Because I was enduring such a broken heart because I do have abandonment trauma. And then I went through some more abandonment, and it was so heartbreaking. I actually had physical symptoms.
Yeah. Thanks. Shout out to Megan for doing that, girl.
Shout out to Megan for saving my life.
Literally.
Love you.
Yep.
Shout out to Lori. Thank you, Mom.
Yeah. Like, I mean, this is like, honestly.
Shout out to Anna for being here for me.
I mean, I'm like far away, but not now. But like, you know, like, oh yeah, always. And we gotta hold space for each other too. Like, you know, we're not saying like that you want to go with all your like devastation, trauma, and like traumatize somebody else. That's not what we're saying. But like, there's people that are capable of handling what you need to fix, right? Like about yourself. And those people, you know, that's what we're talking about here. Like when you find someone that can hold space for you, that's been through it and maybe is a little farther along in their healing journey, right? Then they can do that, because that's part of healing journey. Is that, here's the thing: if you're a mess, if you have like abandonment trauma, like I do, and like Stephanie does, like probably a lot of you do, you know, when we work through it, like it's not working through it just so we can forget about it and go along on our happy merry way. That's not it. Unfortunately, it is about helping others. Then, like as we progress, we have to now pay it forward and go backwards and look at the people that need it and help them,
because we have the compassion
and the capacity to do it, and we've come out the other side, and we know that it's possible. Because when you're in that space, it's hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel.
I'm going to give an analogy here too, because I think it's like the Grinch. It really is. It's funny that I say it like that, but it's true, because unfortunately these lessons and trials and tribulations break our heart, but it breaks our heart open to be bigger, right? And so our capacity to understand and have compassion for others and empathy for others, and we as witches not only see it, we feel it when we're near it,
right? Yeah, and that's about like magical practice too. Is like, it's not just for your own gain. No, like if that's what you're in it for, you're wrong. Like, I'm just sorry. There's no right and wrong in witchcraft except for this part. Like, it's not just all about you. Like, you've got to still make sure that you're being, because why would the universe want to give you shit if you don't do shit for other people?
Right.
I mean, seriously. Like, it's like, why would you get any special treatment or any special abilities if you can't even be there for other people?
If you're gonna sling shit, you're gonna get shit back.
Yeah, like if you're a dick person, then you know what? Like, yeah, just, you know, you're not gonna, but no, like you've got to be like, it's about energy exchange, right? Like if you're putting out shit energy out there and like hurting people,
caca energy,
or like just blocking people and deleting them from your life, or like, I don't know, hexing people, sending demons to their house, or like, you know, putting videos out there, harassing people, like
whatever
that kind of shit.
It is,
no,
it's bad.
Yeah, it's bad, and it's all it's gonna get you is in a worse spot than you're clearly already in. So like,
and it's coming from a place of selfishness
and like
ego, and these things. And I'm not saying pure depth of ego is good either.
No.
But I'm saying that that's where these things are sourced from. And unfortunately, we have a lot of that that's fed to us. Like, even just if you're on your phone, you know, going through, there's things that feed your ego. It's instant gratification. It's telling you you're more important than everybody else, you know, just all these things, because people want to feel special.
Right. I mean, parents need to do a better job of this. Parents really need to step up these days, guys. If you've kids, pay attention to your fucking kids. Like, literally.
Pay attention to the things that are special about them, because you know what? They do need that recognition in this
and
world.
That's not ego. When we're talking about feeding ego, like that's a different thing. That's just like being like
it's called karma. Yes.
Like gratuitous stuff. Like we're talking about like when you know, your kids need to be encouraged and stuff. Otherwise, they end up being miserable people that are constantly seeking outside validation, right? Like, and from others in a negative way, and or doing behaviors that cause them to have trouble because they're looking for any kind of attention, bad or good. You know, I see when I was teaching high school, I saw all the time in my classrooms, like the kids that clearly their parents didn't pay attention to them. And it was sad, you know.
It's sad because they spend the rest of their life looking for that validation, and that shows up in relationships.
Right.
Because our mommy and daddy wounds show up and are at play in our intimate relationship.
Oh my gosh, it so sucks, but it's so true. I never want to admit this because it sounds so creepy, right? Like you date your parents, right? Gross. Okay, but it's true. Like it is. It's like the example that you see growing up, whereas like mine, I didn't have one. Like I didn't have an example, so I just that's why I am where I am. But like, you know, that's why my relationships are terrible. But like, you know, but that's gonna change. It's gotta change because I've been doing all the work necessary for that. Like actually putting in hard work. And it is hard work when you have you know, parents. Like just think of this: if you don't do this for your kids, you don't show them like how to be treated properly, like how a partner should treat you, how you should not allow people to walk all over you, that kind of stuff, then your kid's going to be having to deal with this their whole life. And then they're going to get with a partner that takes advantage of that and makes them feel like shit about themselves and stuff like that. And it's just going to perpetuate into the next generation and the next generation and going on. So you have to like really take into consideration like what information, like what you're showing your kids, right? Like you can't,
Right.
and how we respond is like, my dad was gone. He was in prison my whole life growing up. So I had no idea like how a guy treats a girl at all. No, I didn't live with it. I didn't see it.
Right.
So then I get in my first relationship was horribly abusive, like, and I didn't know if it was right or wrong. I had no clue.
Right. There's a lot of things where you just don't have the roadmap to say, oh, I shouldn't be.
Sounds like common sense, right? Like it should be common sense. That like if someone treats you like shit, they should go. But it's not. It's not common sense if it's not common to your knowledge. Like, so it's not common to my knowledge of how a man treats a woman because I didn't have an example growing up seeing it. So therefore I had no clue. Like, and it's taken me now way too long. But it's like it's a long time, and then once you get in that pattern, it's harder to even break it. Like once that's an established norm for you, because it does become an established norm.
It does, because anything that we do over and over again becomes habit.
Right.
And that's why it's also essential to retrain our brain by doing something different and more beneficial over and over to get the better results that we want.
Right. And when we have like relationships that are traumatic, we get that sense of like butterfly, like that gut punch feeling, and then like the butterflies and stuff. So that's what we, like that's fun, right? That feeling's fun in the beginning, but
that's infatuation.
It is. It's obsession, and yes, it is. But the thing is that for people that have trauma and like have lived through stuff like that, we tend to look at normal relationships as boring. We tend to look at people that would not hurt us as boring and not as exciting enough. So we look for people that are not that way and that are gonna, like, we don't do it it's not on purpose, it's subconscious. And so when we get those butterfly feelings, like I said this before, is like actually the research shows now that it's actually a warning sign. Like, and it sucks because I love that feeling, but
it's everybody does. Everybody does. It makes them feel like
and this is not for everybody. This is only, I'm talking about people with trauma, because it is a normal thing to have butterflies over somebody when you're not a traumatized person. That is normal. But it's not this level that we experience it.
Anna, I'm going to say something controversial here. I've never met an untraumatized person.
Oh, no. Not like excessive trauma.
Okay. We do have excessive trauma.
Yeah, a little bit.
But
yeah, everyone has trauma. Everybody does.
There's a difference between a healer and regular people's trauma.
Yeah.
We've said that before on this show, but we're going to have to say it every time. Healer's trauma is atrocities that you've never seen.
Yeah, then you don't want to.
Dysfunction is our comfort zone. When we grow up with trauma, we know how to function.
Right.
Yes, Megan. Yes. So like that's the thing, right? We're like, oh, this is my comfort zone. I know this land. I know the map here. I know how to handle this.
Yeah.
And when we have something more healthy, we don't know. But the sweet spot we want, right, is somebody who understands the trauma, has compassion for it, may have had experienced some as well, and can say, I see you, let's meet in the middle.
But let's not do this.
But not harm each other.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that takes a symbiosis that is rare, but is doable.
Right.
It's doable.
No, it is. But like I've had a relationship like that. It lasted 11 years. It was the longest one. And he just would not engage with my drama. Like he would not. He would just say, no, I'm going to wait till you calm down. Like, cause I would get over excited, over upset. Like, yeah. And then he would just be like, you're not rational right now. I'm just gonna and it caused me to have to like stop and be like, oh my gosh. And it actually worked. And I was very impressed with that. It didn't work out in the end after, it was 11 years though.
I'm trying to read Hanifa's comment here. Click it for me.
What do you mean, Hanifa?
Some people will call your situation narcissistic. Do you mean us personally, or do you mean what we experienced with partners, Hanifa?
Yeah. What do you mean? Yeah.
We'd like some clarity. And also, what does it say? Megan just said something too. Healthy partners will encourage you to take a leap of faith for yourself and be there to catch and support you. Yes. They won't bail. They won't leave you.
If you're making an effort.
You
can't expect anybody to like be there for you 100% if you're not willing to be there for yourself 100%. Like if you're not willing to do work to get better at the things that are wrong, like because we do. I overreact sometimes That's the thing.
It is because when you come from a nervous system that hasn't been regulated in infancy and childhood, you have to regulate your nervous system in a whole new way as an adult.
Right. And we do it in maladaptive ways, of course, because it's never the way we're supposed to do it, but it works for us at the time. But as we get older, it becomes a problem in relationship. Number one place you see it is in relationships. 100%.
Right. And then when we start healing, we realize, okay, that was very reactionary.
Right.
I need to do this before it even gets to this point. Right.
Right. Yeah. Because it's about, like, again, I said this the other day, like, it's about responding and not reacting. Like, you got to respond. So that takes a moment to take a breath and, like, digest what was just said. If you're going to respond to something, or react to something, like, wait a second, are you hearing it right? Like, are you taking it? Because we tend to take things based on our previous experiences, right?
I do a lot of, I've noticed this about myself because I don't know how to take certain things from people.
Right. Like what?
I don't know what they mean.
Like what? Can you think of something?
Just even if they say something that's a normal kind of, like, normal criticism or something, or like, you need to do this or this, and I have to say, what do you mean? Because in my mind, it's an absolute rejection of me because I had a parent reject me so hard.
Oh my God, that's the same. I have that same thing where if I take any, like, if I do something like a little incorrect, or there's a little thing I need to fix on something, whether it's work or personal, it doesn't matter. I just immediately think that they just totally dissed me and, like, told me I suck. You know what I mean? Like, like that, yeah.
Right.
Like,
but it's a little bit heavier than that. Even, let's be honest. I mean, it's a little bit heavier. It's not just
no,
that.
like, I think I'm gonna get fired.
I'm always, I'm always waiting for the person to just walk away because my primary caregiver when I was young rejected me.
Right. I mean, yeah.
So
that's crazy. I didn't know. I thank you for sharing that, because I have that, and I don't talk about it often because I think I'm just being ridiculous, but I think, let's see what you say.
I meant that your situation caused your behavior to be different by not seeing other situations as not normal. Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, like, it made us being, like, selfish, or like that we're just but that's what it is, because it's our own worldview. Like, everybody has their own worldview that's grounded in, like, the things that they experienced growing up
and belief systems and values.
Right. So, like, ours, and it is difficult because I can't tell you how many people have said that, like, we are, like, that has told me, like, that I'm like, can't be serious. I can't have you making up the stuff that I've dealt with, right? Like, that there's no way, because they don't have any, and bless their hearts, like, they can't understand how anyone could go through that stuff.
Learning to Live just said the belief that good things always leave. Hi, Donna.
Yes.
Welcome. Yes, Megan, exactly.
Yeah, like, they're never, you can't have it. It's here temporary. It's gonna go.
When I went through my heart break and my most recent abandonment trauma, I sat on my back porch in tears, and I just started crying to my adopted mom, who I absolutely love. Shout out to Lori. I don't know if she's watching, but she'll watch the replay. And I told her, and I'm getting teary-eyed just talking about it, but I said, everyone leaves me.
Yeah.
Everyone goes away.
And Trent Reznor over here. Yeah.
And it's a horrible belief system,
but it's not. It's grounded in our reality.
Right.
Like, that's our experience. So
yeah,
like, it's, are we paranoid? Yes. Like, we are paranoid because it's not out of nowhere, though. It's because it's time and time again that has been what's happened. But it's also probably likely because we pick the people that are going to do it to us like that because they're familiar to us. You know,
right? We know that feeling. The pattern without noticing the pattern. Yep. And so we go, oh, I love this person.
Right.
Why is this so familiar?
Yeah, and it's because it's trauma.
And it's like, oh, this is my home. And then we go full force in because we want to be accepted so bad because of that parental thing, right? That it happens.
Yeah.
And so it's unfortunate, but that's what we're dealing with in a large scale with our whole society.
Right.
The whole collective. Like, Anna and I are being very transparent right now.
Yeah, like, to our own detriment probably, but that's okay.
That's okay, because people need to be, because there are more people that suffer from this than talk about it, because we have a society who, it's so be stoic. Be stoic. Don't be a hot mess. Be stoic.
Pull yourself up by the bootstraps to get to work.
Right. Right. And that's not what's healthy for any of us.
No, we gotta like actually, yeah, you need to still work. You need to get through it. Like you can't let everything take you out of the game, right? But at the same time, there's like even like little things over time can collect, like and accumulate if you don't address them, right? Like so,
right.
it can well, something small can end up being something very big if you let it go for too long of a period of time, right? So let's see, rejected.
Yeah, I'm sorry, honey, but yes, like the rejection is unreal, and you know, a lot of it is ego. I mean, people don't realize, and they get very angry and they reject others because they're operating in ego. They're thinking about very mundane things instead of the person's soul. They're thinking about situations, and instead of, oh wait, I connected with this person on a soul level, you know, let's honor each other.
Amazing. Emotions are teachers. We can't learn if we ignore them and don't listen. That's so true. That's so true. And like that's the society we are. It says men, like the masculine's supposed to, you know, be stoic, not have no tears,
not
no, you know, like that's actually a trauma. That's actually so. Our male population has been systematically traumatized. It's not just females, because they are told that their emotions are no good. Like they should not be crying. They should not be expressing their concern or care about other people.
And that causes so much disease in the body.
Yeah.
And generational harm.
Yeah. So it's like this effect of like, it's a ripple effect of that, and like having boys at a young age having to suppress their emotions so they're not seen as like girls, you know, like crying. Because like think about it, back in childhood, who's the criers? The girls or the boys? Always the girls, right? They're always the talkers too, which is bullshit, by the way. As a teacher, I can tell you right now, boys talk way more than girls in class. I'm telling you, it's crazy. I was so surprised by that. But that's because I was also programmed to think that girls were the talkers. I can 100%, especially in junior high, which I'll never teach again in my life. Oh my god. The worst. Like they talk so much. Like it's like crazy. So there's like one stereotype right there. I can tell you. Oh my god, that's just bullshit. So they've been told their whole lives, like, be a man. What does that mean? When you hear somebody say be a man, that means no crying, right? Like that's what you think. Like what does that mean?
it's the most toxic thing to say.
That's why women live on average 7 to 10 years longer than men, because we cry. Because we cry. That's scientific fact. Look it up. It's true. So because we let our emotions
body
out,
needs that release.
Right. Yep. Otherwise, it's stored. It causes heart disease. It causes diabetes, like high cholesterol. All of these things can actually be directly attributed to that, like to not processing emotions. So it's totally a fallacy to pretend like guys shouldn't have feelings or express them.
Megan says her boys were always the talkers in her classroom too.
Yes,
they're social butterflies.
They are, but we don't.
They get it stuffed down too much by society, and I'm hoping that this new generation of parents learns from what we're learning, you know, and it helps the new generation of kids.
Yeah, you know, I do too.
Be able to be more self-actualized.
Yeah.
And we are already at an hour, even though we came in late.
Yeah. But sorry, really late, because we had a long night.
We did, because we had fun because we deserved it.
Yeah.
After having some really rough weeks there during the eclipse season and everything that we went through.
Yeah, we both got dumped. We both, like, you know, they're lost.
Yeah, but it hurts. It hurts.
It does hurt. It hurts a lot. And like, and then in true fashion of programmed by society, they're like, those two are just like, oh, whatever, you know, like don't care.
They're trying to show us that they don't care,
and that we never meant anything. Yeah, and it's just like, y'all lying.
Yeah, because you know what, an adult would say, no, this hurts.
Yeah.
No, this sucks.
Right.
No, this is not
unfortunate. What you know,
an absolute. We need to talk about people's feelings.
Right.
But instead, unfortunately, it's been just grandstanding and ego.
Yeah, doubling, tripling down on that. Yeah, like it's very disappointing. It really is
painful.
Like, it is. It's like, and so, you know, the goal in life is to not go around hurting people as much as you can, right? So
there's nothing. Let me tell you something. I'm going to talk to the audience. I have something to say, because the grass is always greener on the other side, people. And unless you're with like a narcissist or somebody who's abusive to you, there's not something better or flashier or more wonderful out there, except what's in your home. If you look around at your home and you have happiness and laughter, and you have children, and you have food and shelter, and you have animals, and you have a garden or warmth, and you have a person to look to and say, whatever it is, we'll get through it.
Yeah.
That's genuine happiness. That is genuine domestic bliss.
So, right. Because presence, the only way you can experience, by the way, factual statement here that I just, learned this recently in one of my classes. The only way you can experience true happiness is to be present in the actual moment. So if you're thinking in your head about some other thing or some other person or whatever, you will never, ever experience happiness in the moment ever, because you're always somewhere else.
Right. Because I can tell you, I'm a divorcee.
Same thing.
And I would have never gotten divorced had I not had to, because he was narcissistic and abusive. And I don't say those words lightly.
Yeah, we're not that. Yeah, like
those are not words I throw around easy.
And I can't, because I'm literally getting my doctorate. And I have to, when I say it, it has to be from a clinical standpoint. But I'm not a doctor, so I can't give out advice.
Right.
But I'm using it very carefully, also.
Because a happy home is what is the best for everyone, no matter who you are.
And you're always going to have moments where you're like not happy with your partner.
Right.
But that doesn't mean like just break up with them. It means like work it out, like have a discussion, have an adult conversation about feelings and like needs. Because anytime someone's acting up in a relationship, it's always need driven. It's always some need that's like not being met. And that's
needs
true
not
across,
being met.
Yeah, needs not being met. So you might think that and that's the other thing, is you might think that you're a great partner, right? And maybe you are in a lot of ways, but if there's something wrong and your partner's not happy with you, you need to ask them, like, what needs are not being met? Like, because they might have a need that you're not even aware of. And again, we have a tendency to think that because we are living in our situation that the other person knows about it. But if we don't communicate it, they don't know, because they're not mind readers.
Right.
So you have to be able to articulate, and that can be really hard. For me, it's excruciatingly painful. Like, because I, as a kid, like growing up, anytime I would express a need, it would get met with anger. I get spanked, beaten, whatever. So it never was met ever. So for me to have to, like, if I say to you, like, I need something, trust me when I say that was the most excruciating decision of my life to like say that to you, and it was really hard for me to get it out of my mouth, like, and it means something. So if I said it, take it seriously. And we're not talking about like stupid stuff, like, like want to just go out with my friends or something. No, like talking about emotional needs, like
emotional needs, like I need to connect with you.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be honest here. My last partner, who I have the heartbreak from, I had expressed my needs, and his answer was, "I'm checked out.
Yep,
I've been checked out for months," and that's not
so his
conducive to a successful partnership.
Right, because he had needs that he felt wasn't getting. He didn't say anything about it.
But he didn't. Yeah, he shut down instead of let me know.
Same with my too. Like I would say, I need you to be present.
Yeah, and I'd be like, "Can we please talk about this?" No. And when people shut down like that, it's there's no working with that, unfortunately. Right. It's very painful.
You can't. And that's the thing, is you, like, as much you can listen to all the relationship help you want, you can go to therapy all you want. If the other person is not agreeable to even being open to a discussion, there's really nothing that you can do about it. And that's not on you. That's on them at that point. It feels like it's on you because it's hurting you and it sucks. But this is where we are in our society and culture. People are just so closed off to talking about things that make them vulnerable.
Right, because I would have worked it out, and I still would. I'm not saying I'm
like I would have too. Like
I had invested so much. I had a whole family there, and it was like I got wiped out of everything all at once.
Yeah, I mean, and as bad as mine was, I still would have, like, if we had talked about it and not just been like ghosted and treated like shit, I would have been.
And that's the thing, people is like. People are so open to communicate if you get rid of the ego. Yeah. If you put the ego to the side of, like, you said this and you said that.
Who's right, who's wrong, whatever.
Right. Yeah. And instead just look at each other's hearts.
Like, what brought you together in the first place, kind of thing. Like, what you saw.
Even beyond that, look at each other's hearts and say, I essentially know you're a good person.
Right.
We can get there somehow together. that's big, and that is something that people should strive towards.
That's an adult thing.
Yeah,
and that's an adult thing, and we don't teach it in school.
That's a healed thing.
Yeah, we don't teach it in school, or healing. Yes, we're always healing, right? But that's the thing. So like, be open to being vulnerable. And you know what? I'm not gonna stop, because even though it sucks and my whole life it's been like shit every time I try, I have faith that at some point it will be heard properly and reciprocated, and that I will finally find like that person or whatever, like that. And that, I don't need somebody. I would just like to have somebody.
Right. I'm not giving up on love. I'm just right now I'm shelving it because it hurts so bad to lose this one, that because I really believed all the things that were told to me.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I really believed we were going to grow old together.
Yep.
I really believed that it was going to be forever.
Yep.
I loved our collective children. All of these things. So it was very painful. Hi, Moon.
Hello.
Oh wait, no. Get rid of that person.
Oh.
They are actually a scammer. Just block them.
Hey, yeah, you guys, by the way, we will never reach out to you in a direct message or on a live and say, hey, get a reading from us. Nope. Not happening.
No, we'll do it right here.
We'll
and
right
in
now.
fact,
we're gonna do it right now. So who has if you have a question, we'll do this.
Post your questions, guys, because we're ready to read for you.
Yes.
And especially relationship questions, because we're like superhuman here with this. Experience our newest lessons, because the lessons that we get now have really, they teach us, right?
When her daughter will get a job. Let's see. I'll put it on the screen.
Okay. Let's see, Hanifa. When will your daughter get a job? I'm seeing 3 to 6 months right now. Is she in food, like working with food? Why don't you go ahead and do cards, and I'm going to pull some divinity cards. But I see her working with food or oh, there you go. Serving, like it's fancy, whatever it is.
No, it's not.
No.
Okay. What does she do?
Is it hospitality?
What do I got? A sword. What else? Yeah.
Whoop. Dropped it.
I dropped it. Dropped the ball.
Well, no, but if you dropped it, it means it's got to come out.
Yeah. So, 4 of Cups. Oh, she doesn't look like she doesn't like her option right now.
Well,
she's like a little like she like passing up offers because it looks like she's not really excited about anything right now.
I see her working in a hotel or something like that. That's why I say hospitality. Medical.
Oh, well, okay. So they're taking care of people. Hospitality is taking care of people. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. But like,
and the rates they charge, like the most expensive hotel is the hospital. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's true. Okay. That's a good point.
Yeah. So this is, look, like what are someone's offering, like, I don't know if she's been offered stuff and it's just not what she wants. Oh. Is she having a crisis of like, does she not know exactly if she wants to stay in this industry? Is this
I don't
what
think she's gonna stay in the industry. Well, that's what you say. You say hospitality is medical, but I really don't see her staying in the medical field.
I don't know what this is. Like, this is weird. It's like she's
I got the reincarnation card.
And I just got judgment, meaning like I have to look at myself and see if this is what I really want to keep doing.
Yeah.
And like then the 4 of Cups, which is like people are there's offers, just nothing looks like it. No, I don't.
And the words of the Magus upside down, which means she took an oath for something, but she's not going to keep it. She's not going to stay doing the same thing.
Right. Like, I mean, yeah, unless it's something really different. Let's see. And then that's weird. Yeah, she's like it's like
she's switching. Yeah, she's switching. I really don't see her in medical.
So yeah, I mean, I feel like that's a hard industry right now too. Because they're in Canada, so I don't know how it is up there, but here in the States, it's like very big. Oh yeah, in Canada's different. They have free healthcare, I think, right? That's nice. So maybe she doesn't have the same problems that we have here. But I don't know. So right now, at least what she's looking for is not suiting. She doesn't like the options.
Doctor.
So,
but
so she's not in work right now. She's like out. She stopped working or what?
She's gonna travel.
Yeah, maybe they shouldn't do that. Is she at home with you? Is that what you want to know? Oh crap!
There
right?
we
What
go.
is that? Okay, thank you. Let's see what this one is. What is this? This is 4 of Pentacles reversed. Yeah, I don't know. That looks difficult. Let's see. Give me. I'll take whatever. Okay, so it looks like right now she's having. I don't know. She's not liking what's available, and like the pay is not enough. I don't know. So like she's like sticking it out. Like looks like she's sticking it out. Hopefully she'll get something. Let's see how long. Let's see if she finds it.
I'm gonna say while you do that, I'm gonna pull cards for Megan because she said she'll take whatever spirit has to give.
Okay, let's see. I couldn't see it.
Yeah,
I have such bad eyesight. Goddamn. I can't see shit anymore. And now I'm like nearsighted, farsighted too. Like I was nearsighted only. Now I got bifocals.
All right, Megan.
Old
let's see. You've got
yeah, she's at home. Okay, I got it. Okay, I get it. Yeah.
Okay, Megan. I just see you manifesting some more with your job.
Yeah, I just heard something about Hanifa thing. She needs to be taken care of.
Megan?
No, the daughter.
The daughter.
That's okay. So Hanifa, sorry, Megan, so just really quick. Okay, so I was just sitting here looking at the cards and I heard like that. So she's at home with you. So she feels that she needs to be taken care of right now. Like I don't know, like it's too, like something got to be too much for her or something. And like, I don't know if she's communicating that with you, but
like burnout,
like maybe burnout. And like, so the hospitality thing is she needs to be cared for. Like she needs someone to be like taking care of her.
Hi, Mary.
That's what, okay. So yeah. So right now I would suggest that, you just, like talk to her about like, how she's doing about that stuff and see if there's anything that she needs on an emotional level. I don't know, maybe something happened in her last job that because it's like she feels, oh my god, did she like lose somebody? There's something that happened, it looks like, that made her have her feeling like really like, I don't know if this is the right thing for me. Like it's a lot of stress. And so yeah, she needs to be taken care of right now. Emotionally. So I think it's gonna be some time. She needs some there's like a healing here that needs to happen with her. A reassessment of like what she's doing.
Yes, Mary. Do you have a question for us? I'm working on Megan right now, and then Mary's next. No, that's
just checking.
Yeah. So Megan, what I see is you've got, okay, so I'm using my Alice in Wonderland deck. And hi, Sydney. Sydney's in our coven too.
Hi,
I think you haven't met her yet. Okay. So the Nine of Hedgehogs, Megan, is showing me, which means it's the Pentacles. Okay. So it means hard work is going to pay off. You've got the Nine of Spears. You got a lot of nines here, which is action coming in to and then you've got a reverse spear. So what I'm seeing is, and you can pull some cards for this, I'm seeing her job life is really going to blow up. It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, especially with the networking that she's doing. But I feel like there's going to be a little snag. It's not going to go as fast as you want it to. It's going to require a little bit more like elbow grease and fearlessness.
What was her question?
Whatever spirit will give her. Okay. And I'm just seeing her business growing. Okay. But it's gonna take like her talking to people that she was afraid of talking to.
King of Swords. You have to cut through bullshit, go straight for the thought, like go right at it. That's just flew out of the deck. So yeah, if you're scared to talk to somebody, just get it over with.
That's what I'm feeling. It's right here too. In my jaw. So you need to not be afraid to talk to whoever you're afraid to talk to go for it.
Don't be afraid of heartbreak or like disappointment. Just the worst that can happen is they say no. But it's always a no if you don't ask.
Okay, so let's see. Okay, so Mary. Yeah. Let me show yours. Please, what happens with me and Tom? Okay, Mary.
Are you guys in a relationship now, or are you guys broken up? What is it?
I'm getting ready to launch a new podcast. Of course you are, Megan.
Yeah. Yes.
So don't be afraid to ask those people that you want on there. Okay, let's see about Mary and Tom.
Relationships.
Oh, I got the star. and the Knight of Flowers.
Mm-hmm. Well, wait, are you guys together or they're not? Does it say? Don't see.
I don't see her answer. I'm gonna go with the what I'm getting.
Go.
Ooh, sorry. There's something that fell, so I better pay attention to that.
What the heck is that?
Cards. More cards. Okay.
Oh, that deck.
Yeah. Okay, as above, so below. Words of the Magus again. So he's going to be actually coming up with some kind of promises. I don't think they're empty promises either. I think they're actual legit promises. You're the star in his eyes. Let's see, like, this is, he has a lot of love for you and a lot of care. I'm feeling it right here, actually. And the Knight of Flowers in my deck means the Knight of Wands. Hello, Rusty. Well, Mary, like, I feel like this deep thing going on inside him and he doesn't tell you, but words are coming. There's words coming. And it's going to be as above, so below. So below inside him, and it's going to come out. So you're going to learn some interesting stuff about him. Oh, you got the Knight of Cups here too, which is, you know, somebody who's sensitive, right?
Yeah, like what kind of not really, what does that mean? Like kind of not really. Like you guys are kind of together, not really together? Like did you guys have a breakup or something you got devastated in? And you want to know if it's going to pick back up? Because if that's the case, then yes.
Not sure how I landed in here. Well, Rusty, we're doing free readings. So if you have a question for us in our cards, please post a question and we'll get to you.
Or not. If not, just thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, if not, thanks for stopping by and coming in and watching. So Mary, I really feel like he's had some deep feelings that he has not shared with you, and that I feel like it's all going to come to light.
Yep.
We finished. I don't think he's finished.
Yeah, so that's what I got. So I got like that. You guys are out like this one, but then I got this. So he's coming back. Like
coming
that
back
looks like
around.
he's coming back. We got 10 of Swords.
But the thing is, don't you go to him.
You know, he's got to come back.
He's got to do it of his own volition.
Yeah, it's him has to make that trek through the snow and shit to get back. Like it's the
thing. Because if you do it for him, if you come to him, then it's not going to be sincere, and he's not going to see how hard he needs to work for this thing.
Yeah, but it's going to happen really fast. You got 8 of Wands here, so like that, I would expect it like for you guys to be talking, hearing from him again fairly soon.
Within a week.
Yeah, soon.
Yeah,
like soon. I think this happens a lot. Like we were saying earlier, people leave thinking that it's going to be better, and then like they don't really.
They think the grass is greener, or they get their angers flare, right, and their egos get involved, and then all of a sudden you're broken up, and it's like, wait a second, how the hell did this even happen?
Right. It's because people are reactive and not responding. That's why.
Right.
Yeah, you got to respond instead of react. That's really hard for people to do, though. So, does Rusty have a question now? Okay.
You know what? I'll let you pull for Sydney because I read for her a lot, Sydney, and I know her a little too well. I'd like you to do it.
Okay, what's the question?
She said Steph knows me, so
okay.
She needs relationship stuff, and she also needs living situation stuff.
Okay, let's see what I got. Sydney.
Sorry to put you on blast, girly, but like I know what you need. So I'm gonna.
Let's see. Well, Ace of Pentacles lover. So is this a toxic relationship a little bit? Mm-hmm.
She says it's shit getting called out again.
What?
Because I always call her out.
Oh. A little toxic?
She likes
what is that?
Let's see. Oh, physics. That's why it took me a while, I think. Okay, we have somebody that's just trying to like get in on our business here again.
Black.
Oh, our
right there.
Oh, there it is.
That's over on the other screen.
That's why. There we go. We have somebody who's trying again to give readings. A block user.
What's that? Is it 2? Yeah, up there. Yeah, it's 2 blocks already. Okay.
There we go.
So always happens on her life.
Yeah.
You blocked them, right?
Yeah, I blocked them, but
No,
I'm also
don't delete
deleting their
comment. Okay.
comments because
Yeah,
they don't need to.
So annoying.
It really, truly is. When we get people that try to come on our lives and read you guys, it's our show. Go get your own show,
no, they
person.
do that to they do it afterwards too, so it's like.
Yeah, we all know better than to listen to that. That's right,
they
Sydney.
don't. Thanks, Sydney, but not a lot of people don't. Like people do it, and I'm like, why would you do? I'm literally on camera how I'm texting you at the same time. Like what, you know? So Wheel of Fortune. Okay, so with the relationship thing, it's like over and over again, same shit, different day. Looks like promises of new stuff.
It's the same guy over and over again, but in different bodies.
Yeah, no, that's the same cycle of stuff. Yeah, so there's like starting to try to do it different, and then like it just goes right back to the same thing because it's the same person in a different skin suit.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
It's like a lesson or something.
Yeah. So what's the
you.
lesson? The fool. Okay. So so you need to be taking like a leap of faith on something here. Like you need to be trying something new, like a new path for like a new thing. So it needs to be different.
Yeah, she said for real. Yeah, no, seriously, Sid, you're at like a death rebirth situation and it hurts like hell.
Yeah.
But so does being born.
King of Pentacles. You need to be okay. So you need to be looking for somebody that is like already well established. You're not babying them. You're not parenting them. You're not like bringing. You're not carrying them.
Older than she's going for.
You need somebody that is established, has their own shit together,
their own house, their own car, their own job.
Like I don't know anything about your situation at all, but I'm saying it feels like to me that you carry people a lot. That you carry, like you're there to carry people.
She's very mothering.
Yeah. So this is not that. You need to look for someone that's going to actually be willing to carry you, like instead. You don't need it maybe, but like but it's there nonetheless.
You need the reciprocation.
Yeah. And so that's yeah. So stop with the same. I mean, I'm in the same boat. So I feel like same shit. Like same people.
I had reciprocation for a while, and then it just kind of shut down, and I don't know what happened.
Yeah, but they don't know what happened either. Like people that they don't even know because they don't listen to their own emotions. They don't process it. Right. Okay. 5 of Swords. So yeah, like you're fighting this. Like I don't know if you know somebody already, but you're like, I don't know. So you need your instinct to fight against certain situations, like with relationships, maybe. I don't know. Like, what am I trying to say? This is where you have an internal struggle with yourself about who you like and who you don't like. Like you might know that someone is better for you than the other person, but you're still gonna pick that bad one because they're more exciting or cuter or whatever. Like and that's your internal. Like, do you not think that you're good enough to like have all the happiness? Like, is that a problem? Like, is that? I mean, like you are. So if you feel like you just don't deserve it, it's not gonna happen for you. Then that's what's gonna keep happening. So you gotta switch your mindset and be like, I do deserve it all. I had a bag of chips, motherfuckers. Like and bring it. And
I think it needs to come from a different place than the anger that you have, Sid. Because like
this is the fighting.
Yeah,
there's fighting here, like internal.
I mean, her anger is founded,
right.
Like it's not unfounded,
right.
But it's frustration, and the universe, when it sees frustration, it likes to mirror it back, unfortunately.
Right. Yeah. So that I guess the advice would be to transmute it instead. So instead of being angry, which is easy to do, it's a very easy thing to do because I get angry all the time, and I'm like, okay, no, this is not helpful because we attracts like. So anger is going to attract anger, dysfunction is going to attract dysfunction. So instead, you need to transmute that shit and be like, okay, so what lesson did I learn here? Like, what's the lesson? Like, look towards the bright. There's always, no matter how shitty our situation is, no matter how shitty, there's always some silver lining. There's always something we take away from it that helps us later. That's what you need to be looking for and focusing on that. Instead, ditch the stuff that was bad, let it go in the past, and only take forward with you the things that you've learned that are beneficial for you. Mm-hmm. And when you do that, you're transmuting that energy, and then good shit will come. But the anger, like, if I get it, believe me, but it's not. That's lower. That keeps us low. Like that keeps us down and attracting more bad stuff. So
work on. I would say like this is just priestess advice here, my dear. But no, go for it.
Prison of your own making. You're in the prison of your own making. 8 of Swords. So you are. It's literally no offense, love you, never met you, but love you. This is my heart too. Same shit. It's my own perception of what's going on. That's the problem. It's like I can't get out of my own head enough to figure it out. Like that's where it's like, so we're trapped in this idea of what we need when it's not accurate. Like it's skewed a little bit because of our past experiences. So the mindset is key. Like that just confirms that like it's mindset here. And you start being more.
And so, Sid, like I said, as your priestess, I'm going to give you some advice. And I truly believe that you need to work on some meditation. Find a meditation. I know it's hard, even if it's walking the dogs and just like saying to yourself, things are going to get better. Things are going to get better. Or show me where it gets better. Like doing something similar to that, or just getting outside and grounding for a few minutes with your feet in the dirt, with your hands on your heart, looking at the sun. Doing this regularly is going to heal that frustration feeling and help your heart chakra through this. And I'm currently doing that as well because of my broken heart.
Yeah. And kind of put yes on both questions.
Yes.
Yes. And yes.
Yeah. And I see about 30 pounds. Does that sound right? But I see it because you're learning that there's going to be a food allergy that you've learned that is making you kind of bloated. Yeah. And once you drop that food that is the one that's causing the issue, you're going to feel better and you're going to lose weight effortlessly.
Oh my God.
Woo,
I can't even spit it out. I couldn't say a word earlier and I was like, what the hell's wrong with me? Yeah. And then for both of you guys, this card was just upside down. This card was just flipped over in the deck for both Sydney and Hunt, but strength card. Like
yes, I am correct. Okay, excellent. Yeah.
So fantastic. Okay,
so anybody else have any other questions? Because if not, we've done it.
Yep. All right,
we've made it.
Okay, so this is probably like the only time anytime recently soon that we're gonna be like doing this. Oh, tomorrow. No, because you won't be here tomorrow.
I won't be here tomorrow, but we're going to do it again because, it's fun and we need our sisters.
Yes, I know. And that's the thing too. Like, when in relationships, don't just get rid of all your friends either. Like,
no, because that isolation creates more issues.
It's harder to maintain friendships when you have a relationship because everybody typically goes all in on that.
Right.
But like, it is important to also, make sure you don't isolate yourself or let yourself be isolated because when shit hits the fan, which it always does in relationships, it always will. Just some worse than others, right? You need to have people that you can, go to. And nobody wants that friend that's just totally ditched them. And then as soon as shit goes bad, they're like, "Oh, hey, what's up again?"
Right.
It sucks. Maintain contact.
It sucks, and especially as women, we need our sisters.
We do, and we need to be nicer to other women. Ugh.
Yes, lift other women up.
I always compliment people when I see women that I think look pretty or whatever. I say something about it because, God damn it, I bet no one else has said shit. So you guys stop. We need to stop tearing each other down. And also, men cry. It's fucking good for you, literally.
Yeah, and Megan says because Hanifa can't see it because she's on Facebook, but Megan's on YouTube talking to us right now, and she said. You could try the FODMAP elimination diet to determine the allergy if you haven't already, Hanifa.
Oh, we can't see each other. Oh, that's right.
Right. Yeah. So I'm just letting her know. And if you have any questions about that, I can either of us can direct you to that because it is a very helpful food allergy test. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. We enjoy talking to you all. We absolutely love the energy. We appreciate you.
Yes, very much.
And we will see you next time.
Okay, bye guys. Have a great rest of your week.